Trading in lane is something that I think people look at as something very straightforward, but is actually unbelievably difficult, right? Properly trading in lane is something that separates even the top immortal players from low immortal players. It gets that advanced, and it's really all about figuring out things like attack range advantages, regen advantages, ability advantages, and no one even considers these things in a lot of the lower MMR games I watch. So if you can do that, you're gonna crush your lane, and that completely sets up the tempo for the game. So in today's video, what I'm going to be doing is showing you one of my Undying replays where I trade very effectively in lane, and then showing you a Crusader 5's Undying replay where he doesn't take any of the proper measures to actually trade well in lane, which holds him back. Your team does not deserve your support, but holy crap, do they need it! At gameleap.com, we have hundreds of guides teaching you how the best support players in Dota secretly carry their games with awful teammates without them even knowing it. Start your climb through ranked as the hero of your team today by hitting the discount link to our special offer in the description down below. The first thing I want to talk about is runes. I actually really don't feel like people fully understand how you should be looking at rune fights in general. If you cannot win the fight, let's say they have an Undying and a Wraith King, right? Just like in this game, and you are a weak laner, a strength hero, or even just a hero like Mirana, and you're in melee range, can you make the trade? No, right? You cannot make the trade, and I'm going to break down this scenario in a moment. But all I want to say is that trading 3/4 super HP or First Blood for a bounty rune, one that you might not even get if you get outclicked, is not worth it. Just back off and let the stronger lane take the runes. You do not want to start a lane down 3 tangos and a salve because you decided that you had to get this first bounty rune. It is not worth as much as you think. The 200 gold is not completely game changing. Yes, it helps, but it is not worth as much as a First Blood on one hero that can give someone a boots, a stick and a quelling, whatever it is. So looking at this situation, I'm an Undying, and I feel like I'm strong, so I'm going to take the rune fight because I want to trade HP. My goal here as the position 5 Undying is to trade HP, and for a lot of position 5s, that's something you can do, right? Bane, Undying, Ogre, even a hero like CM and Grim, you can trade HP if you're casting your spells. Lion, same thing. And you notice here, they disrupt me, and I know they're going to go on me. They miss the arrow, and what comes up here is extremely important. I hit him with the XD in the alt chat. Now you might be like, well, what does this have to do with trading? I'm getting in their heads right now. NBA champion Jeremy Lin hits his team with the ha ha ha, right? You know they're tilted out of their minds already. This game's basically over. Getting back on the serious note, you notice once again, I'm walking up the high ground, but only because I know I'm strong, right? It's 2 ranged heroes, and I'm a Stout Shield Undying, right? I'm position 5, and I want to trade my HP. Now, if you look at this situation here, how do I approach this? First off, I knew I wanted to go for a decay on anyone who Wraith King could get in trading situation with, but then the next thing I do is I don't want to chase a ranged hero, right? This is very important. I'm not just straight up chasing the SD because I think he's going to just attack move or run away from me. So what I try to do here is bait him in. I try to make him feel like I'm weak. Now he doesn't fall for it, right? He does not go for the bait. However, I recognize that and I continue chasing, right? But playing the trees is the first point that I'm going to be stressing to the ends of the earth. But the second half is casting your spells. You notice I already have 8 decay stacks, and here I'm able to get another decay, in fact a double decay, and getting my spells off cooldown is unbelievably important, right? I see players just never cast spells on the laning stage. Just use your mana. If you want to win the trade, you have to use your mana. That's just how it works. And look here, I found this a very good play on my part. I was very glad at the end of this trade because I see them, I'm like, okay, I could go for Mirana or I can hit this OD. And I really like the idea of hitting the OD because I can completely win my Lina the lane or give her a really good start, right? I have no idea how good the OD is going to be in comparison to Lina. However, this is going to help a ton, right? We look at the OD's items, great items, no salve at the moment. In fact, he doesn't even have one queued up, so this is going to be completely destroying him, right? He loses half his HP, and now is off to a sort of a bad start. He did get First Blood though, so, you know, not the best, but regardless, I take a lot of his HP, and continuing to trade now. Once again, slow breakdown. In this situation, what can I do? I eat a tango. First off, I've already eaten 2 of my tangos. Eating tangos while you're trading or preemptive to trading is very important. But once again, I go out of vision. I'm messing with vision. I see players not even regard this as important, but I'm constantly messing with vision. And now I thought because he would step up, I can punish it. He doesn't. I actually respect how this SD moves. He's a generally higher MMR player, and as a result, he gets away, right? However, what I have done now is force them to commit a lot of regen. If we count the tangos, Rana has not committed too much, but she's walking back to base, which is not great for starting the lane. SD has committed 3, right? 3. and that is fantastic. And the next thing I'm going to do is now try to zone them off the wave a bit. Wraith King for some reason was not getting this creep, so I wanted to sap the XP just in case. He got there regardless, but my main idea is to play in the trees. This is the first major point, playing in the trees. I am not walking in the wave. I am not trading in the wave. I am playing off the wave. My goal is to play off the wave. And I know, because I've played Undying a decent amount, not a ton, but enough to understand the hero's limits, that I can trade off the wave. First thing I do, I want to get down some vision, and I see this Mirana coming and surprise her, right? This is really nice to do because it's off the wave. I'm not going to creep aggro, right? Which is really like the main benefit of me trading here instead of here, which is why this is so good. And now I get on top of her and ruin the majority of her HP. You might be like, well, but this can happen. You can get set up into an arrow combo. Yes, but I'm telling my Wraith King to go last hit, right? I'm just trying to trade HP and space for creeps. I am playing and doing this for the optimization of the overall creep score. I do not care necessarily about kills. It's not about kills here. It is the fact that my Wraith King can get free last hits. The Mirana has 0. That's what I'm trying to do. That's it. And you notice I'm low now, so really what I wanted to do here was just kind of either die. I couldn't care less if I died here because it would put me in a position of full HP, full mana back in lane, and I could bring Wraith King items. So honestly, I really was fine with dying here, but they give me a double decay, which gives me a lot of HP, and Wraith King really heads up stun on the Mirana, so great play by him to stun him out. And now I'm just going to chase out the Shadow Demon. But the big thing here was that initial trade in the Mirana in the trees won us the lane, period. That puts us in a great spot. Now, this was really funny, but regardless, I wanted to deny to the tier 2 so that they wouldn't get the gold, but unfortunately, I walk into an arrow. My movement there was pretty trash, but regardless, now I'm full HP, full mana, and instantly TP it back in, and I recognize I can get a pull off. Hopefully you guys see the point of what I was doing. I ran out of mana within the first 2 minutes. Do you understand how important that is? Please, try to get an example of a game. Even send it to me in the Discord, where you run out of mana by the 2-minute mark. It's one of those things where, yeah, is it always optimal to run out of mana by the 2-minute mark? No, not necessarily, but like the majority of the games, I see people full mana by the 2-minute mark. Like, I would much rather be on the swing of no mana than full mana. Because you notice here, my goal here is to build up decay and then trade, right? A lot of people have it the other way around, where they trade and then decay. No, I decay and then trade, because basically how this works is, then by the time I go in, I have a second decay, and I'm double the strength in terms of, decay stacks. Next very important thing is this body movement here. So you notice I'm going to grief the range creep in about a second, but regardless, I'm trying to push him off the wave, right? This is my movement, off the wave. I'm shoving him off the wave. I don't want to trade on the wave. The example we're going to be watching in a bit of the Crusader player, he just trades in the wave. It completely griefs him. I am using my body language, shoving her off the wave, away, right? That is my goal, correct? Once again, using decay basically anytime I can. And then once again, backing into the trees. I don't want to trade him properly, but I get my hits in, I get my decay in, and honestly, I think I should get disrupted into an arrow here, but frankly, people don't always coordinate to the best of their ability, and the wave was shoving in, which makes it not nearly as bad. But regardless, now you can see my Wraith King's last hits. They're very good. 18 and 5 to the 3 and 2 of Mirana. Next point I want to talk about is working with your teammates. Now, this might seem straightforward, but you really need to communicate to your teammates what your plays are going to be. Right here, I see the bounty runes coming up, right? It was the 450 minute mark, and as a result, I know SD is going to try to contest them, so I tell my Wraith King, help me contest them, right? I tell him, let's pressure out this SD, and as a result, we work together and pick off the SD who walk to the side. Right? It's that simple. But one of the reasons why I've learned and focused a lot on trading as I become a better player is because I noticed in qualifiers, a big thing that just held all the lower MMR teams back right off the bat was simply an inability to work together in trading. The high MMR teams would simply use their spells together on one hero, right? We destroy one hero, and as a result, we crush the lane. Right? It's that working together that really separates good from great. It really, really does, right? That communication of me getting that SD kill now gives us both the runes and gets us a kill. It's that simple. So please talk to your teammates and let them know exactly what you want to do and exactly who you want to go on. And yeah, you notice I've been training this entire lane. I only have done one small camp pull, which typically is against what I recommend to 5 players, where I really like them spam pulling stacked camps. But for Undying, this really works, and for any sort of trading hero or trading playstyle, if you're not going to pull a lot, this is what you have to do. I don't necessarily sap a lot of levels because I'm playing off the wave, but still, I keep things like pulling in mind. I'm abusing Undying's spike. I understand his spike, and abusing spikes in lane is great. For Grimstroke, it might be level 3 with a level 2 Inkswell. For CM, it could be at level 2 if you take both your nukes and have mangoes, right? And these type of things are what you can abuse to win the lane. And next up here, we're going to see a little bait play. This was cute by me, right? So I know they're going to go on me. They're like, oh, this guy's half HP. We can just burst them. But I know I have a stick and I have a soul rip as well as a spirit breaker charging in. And this is once again my attentiveness to playing around my teammates. So here, I wanted them to not pay attention. I wanted to distract them. I could have placed this probably more, even closer to myself, right? I was actually afraid of them disengaging because I knew the spirit breaker was coming in. So that was why I didn't place it farther back. Maybe I should have. But regardless, I bait them in. They go for the tombstone, which was my plan. I still rip it up, eat a mango, get a 2-man decay, and now they are baited in. Right, he puts the Mirana under, but that isn't actually going to save her, as the Spirit Breaker makes a really nice urn play, gets the urn off, we secure up the kill, and Wraith King manages to finish off the SD. Once again, working with teammates, and hopefully you can see the benefits of this. Now the Mirana is level 4 and a bit, the SD is level 3 and a bit, and our Wraith King is level 6. And that is trading. It's about playing in the trees, spamming your spells, playing off the wave, and working with your teammates. If you incorporate all those things, or even one of them, you will notice a difference, because I see players just constantly aggroing the creeps, constantly just running in vision, or doing things like flanking. So let's go into the Crusaders replay to hopefully reinforce those ideas and see what a lot of you guys are probably doing wrong. Alright, now we are going to be looking at the Crusader 5's gameplay. This was a random game I picked off Dota Buff, and we're going to be breaking it down. First off, his item build is fine, it's okay, just lacks a stout shield, and you can actually buy a stout shield on Undying without sacrificing the wards or the courier, as long as you don't buy branches or the second mango. Now here you're going to notice him just like decay up the hill, but why? Like, he can trade with basically any of these heroes, and that's him either being newer to Dota or not playing enough Undying, which is why it's important to play heroes more than once. And now he doesn't even trade with this Wraith King, right? Like, why not? Once again, I think that's just him not playing the hero enough, but he could have traded with the Wraith King and already gotten himself off to a good start, which would have made zoning a world easier. And knowing that this is a Wraith King, and if you had played the matchup a lot, he should know that instead of walking back here, he could easily walk to the left and zone the Wraith King entirely off the wave here. Lane's over. Done. It's done. It's done. Like, I'm literally not kidding. The game ends. The throne explodes. But instead, he just walks around here, you know. He hits up this block, you know. Hell yeah. But then the first major mistake he makes, but instead of trying to zone the Wraith King off the wave, or push him away with just body movement, or even just getting a decay off, which is what I really incentivized in the first replay, just using decay right away, literally right away, prepping decays so that the second one comes up, he just auto-attacks him. That's it. How does that work? That's not how you want to win trades. No, it's not. And then he decays, right? But as is, now he's tanking a Wraith King, a range creep, and soon to be a melee creep. This is not how you win trades, guys. Also, he didn't need a tango until now. I literally have to go back for this tango usage. Once this guy swings that sword, I want to see this tree eaten. It's so important. Like, literally, it gets me so mad when people just never eat tangos in lane, because I feel like it's one of the most simple things in Dota, but at the same time, it's extremely complex in the topic of, like, regen management and trading in lane. But once again, he's trading in lane, and this is going to push the wave. And you don't want to push the wave as Undying. That's not your goal, because when you do, then you have to trade under their tower instead of your tower. I don't want to do that. You don't want to do that, because now he takes this good trade because it's his second decay, which is what he should have been trying to set up earlier. But once again, makes the same mistake, runs into the creep wave. Come on, you got to pay attention. You got to move your camera up. Pay attention to what's important. Deny the creeps. Oh, that's 3 denies. Oh. Come on, like, please, you have to deny those creeps. And once again, like, hopefully you guys understand my challenge for you of losing all your mana by the 2 or 3 minute mark, because he's 300 at 1 minute and could easily get a 2-man decay right now. Like, no problem. They're meeting together all the time. But instead, he's going to pull because he pushed a lane. Like, literally, this is a somewhat legitimate strategy to push the lane and then pull, but not when you're an Undying and you're in a free farm lane. You don't want to just go even-ish and get one single pull off. That's not that good. And once again, he only single pulls, which is now going to push the lane again, and takes the wrong skill. Like, come on. If you guys were to send me all your replays, like, literally I had enough time to just look at everyone's replay, how many games would I see the wrong skill build and wrong item build? How many times would I see, like, Deso Undying or something like that. How many times? I'm really curious because I think it's the majority of the games. Just look it up on Dota Buff. Soul Rip is one of the hardest level 3 spikes in the game, and it's very easy to see that if you just look at Dota Buff and see that that's what they take. It's that simple. And look, it's 3 minutes in, he has 2 mangoes still, and full mana. How can you win the lane like this? It's scary simple. It's scary simple. Sometimes how to win the lane. It really can come down for a lot of players to the fact that they just don't cast spells enough, right? He hasn't played in trees at all as well. He hasn't worked together with this Void to, you know, maybe let the Void trade and then Soul Rip the Void. Well, he doesn't have Soul Rip, but you can't do that. Regardless, it has not been a situation of trading with his teammates, you know, catching them off guard, trading off the wave, using body language to push them off the wave. It's none of this. It's really none. It just almost seems like brainless to some extent. I'm not trying to flame you. Like, I really hope this person understands that my goal here is not to make you feel bad. It's just to really help everyone improve. But you notice, like, he gets gone on here, and because he hasn't been prepping any trade, neither of them are even relatively low HP. He doesn't have Soul Rip, which would have easily kept him alive here because he could have walked under tower. Now he puts up a Tombstone, and Tombstone, like, this early on barely does anything as is. I mean, he used to, but it got heavy nerfed, and it feeds them 150 gold. This just doesn't help, because frankly, Pudge Wraith King is one of the easiest lanes of literally all time for Undying. It's just not even close. And yeah, this is the main point for me in this video. Like, he does a lot of pulling, so honestly, respect there. I mean that. Like, I think his idea of, okay, the lane is pushed, you pull, is good, but he's not even pulling through. It's not a stacked camp, so the lane's just reshoving anyway. It gets him a bit of XP, which is going to allow this Void to be level 5. That's actually super good. No joke, like, I think that's a step above, but once again, can't save the Void because doesn't have Soul Rip. Imagine if he zoned and then did this. Like, frankly, guys, these players are worse than the ones I was playing against. It's not something I'm saying because I'm cocky. I'm just saying, imagine if you play the way like I showed in the first example in a lower MMR game, right? Not a Divine/Immortal game. It's just unbelievable how much impact you can have as a position 5 hero. And the last thing I want to do is talking about item builds, and the last thing I want to show is 2 team fights, one from this game and one from my original replay, and why item builds make the world's difference. Alright, so in this upcoming fight, he's going to TP top, and the first thing I have to say is, why do you have mana boots? It's the most purchased item on Undying, and it actually makes me somewhat upset. It makes me sad, because if people look up something like that, they're like, oh, it's the most purchased item, it must be the best. It's not. It's so bad. It's 900 gold. You know what 900 gold also is? It's either a ton of wards of smoke, like all those items, or it's a bracer and a wand. It's like the same gold. A bracer and a wand can win a fight for a hero like Undying. In fact, it could win a fight for a lot of heroes like a Lion or a Grimstroke. It doesn't matter, because if you get gone on and you live, it can change the fight because you're going to get an extra spell off. And let's look at how that breaks out in this fight. First off, this Tombstone it feels a little bit too defensive to me. I mean, it's not terrible, right? The range is quite large, but in general, it's not the best. Goes in here, this is fine, right? Front laning is Undying. I'm cool with this, right? I think you maybe could have backed up a little bit, considering you don't know where the rest of their team is, which actually is getting you gone on here. Okay, almost lives. Unfortunately gets hit by a Lucent Beam and an Ignite and ends up dying. Do you think, guys, tell me, do you think he would have died if he had a wand and a Bracer? Bracer gives magical resistance. Do you think so? Of course, it wouldn't have even been close. He would have had a 20 wand. And if you max Soul Rip, which is the proper build after maxing out your Tombstone, some people even max it first, there's no chance he dies. And now this Luna Lip, oh, that hurts. That literally hurts me. If he lives here, he gets a decay off on this Luna inside this Chrono, like no problem, and she dies. But instead, she lives on like 3 HP, gets off a 19 wand, and lives. Imagine if Undying killed a level 13 Luna. He's just going to have a great game now, and it's going to change the swing of this game. Item builds hold you guys back sometime. Like, if you want to make one excuse, like, and I won't accept, like, teammates hold you back, you could be like, yeah, my item builds hold me back. Because that I'll believe. They really do. They're going to hold you back. Alright, upcoming here, we're going to see a fight. Notice the difference in item builds. I am tanky. I have 1500 HP. Yes, I'm a level 11. This is a little bit later into the game, but I also, you know, pushed in mid quite a bit this game to defend my middle tower. But let's check out how I approach this fight and the result of having a different item build. Right? So I go in. I get down a ward right away because I want to see everyone in the fight. It allows my Spirit Breaker to force out an early Hex from the Lion. Right? I think he actually should have charged the OD, frankly, but whatever. He can do whatever he wants. I get up the Tombstone. I'm front lining with my Flesh Golem, which is exactly what I want to do. And look how tanky I am. Unbelievably tanky. And now I get off a Soul Rip onto the OD. He gets bursted, and I stay alive. Do you think if I had Mana Boots, I'm alive here? Do you think so? I don't think so. I really don't think so. It's that simple. I got off an extra Soul Rip that guaranteed the kill on the OD, similar to like the Luna OD probably would have died anyway, but the point is, it kept me alive, and actually this ends up happening, which is pretty comical. I walk back in and get zapped. I didn't know he still had that. Big mistake there, but regardless, hopefully you see the point. I'm able to take double the spells, I'm able to get off an extra soul rip, and it changes the game. It's that simple. Any of you could have done what I just did there. I put down a ward, ulted, threw down a tombstone, and walked in. That was it. That was it. But my item build enabled me to do that properly. But thank you guys for watching. If you enjoy, please do like and subscribe. Hopefully you really see the difference in all these little things, because Dota is improving in the little things. If you want to get better, you can't look at the macro. It can't be that one Roche fight you took at 40 minutes to determine the entire course of the game. That's not the case. It really is all the little things like training and the item builds. But hopefully you guys understand that now. If you do, please do like and subscribe. And yeah, I've been having a lot of fun making these videos for you guys, and hopefully you're having just as much fun watching them. Peace. Do you want to carry your games but always find yourself stuck in the support role? On gameleap.com, we have the tools you need to take control of your games as a Pause 4 and Pause 5. With hundreds of guides covering hero specifics and key concepts like ganking and lane control, GameLeap is the place to unlock your potential as a support player. Hit the link on screen right now to take advantage of our special offer for a 25% discount.